Good morning, students. Myself Renu Yadav, and today I will teach you Science, Class 3rd, Chapter 4, Part 1, and the topic is Common Insects. Insects are tiny creatures seen crawling and flying around. All insects have some things in common. Children, insects are the most diverse group of animals. They include more than 1 million described species and represents more than half of all known living organisms. The total number of extant species is estimated at between 6 to 10 millions. Potentially, over 90% of animal life forms on Earth are insects. Insects may be found in nearly all environment. They are present in all environment, although only a small number of species resides in the oceans. They are very tiny creatures and they used to crawl and fly around. You can find them in your houses very easily. Children, here are few examples of insects. The first picture is of a cockroach, and cockroaches are insects which also includes termites. About 30 cockroach species, over 4,600 species of cockroach are associated with human habitats. Some species are well known as pests. Then the second picture is of ant. Ant used to form colonies that range in size from a few dozen predatory individuals living in small cavities to a highly organized colonies, and their colonies consist of millions of ants living together. Then we have the third picture, and the third picture is of a grasshopper. Grasshopper are a group of insects and they probably belong to the most ancient living group of chewing herbivorous insects. After that, we have the picture of a butterfly. Butterfly are the winged insects. Their wings are very colorful, and they used to lay their eggs on food plant on which their larva known as caterpillar will feed, and then will turn into a butterfly gradually. After that, we have a picture of wasp. They look like somewhat like ant and the combination of ant and bee, but they actually are wasp, and they are also known by as the name of yellow jacket or hornets. And the last picture is the picture of a ladybird. The family is commonly known as ladybugs in North America and ladybirds in Britain, but they are not classified as true bugs. The bodies of all insects are divided into three parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. Children, three physical features separate insects from the other arthropods. They have a body divided into three regions: head, thorax, and abdomen. They have three pairs of legs and mouth part, which is located outside of the head capsules. It is this position of the mouth part which divides them from their closest relatives. The body of an insect is divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. See, through the picture also we can see that the first part of the body of an insect is called the head region. This is the head region. The second part is the thorax region, and the third part is the abdomen region. They have three pairs of legs. They have 6 legs. Okay, so this is the division of the body of an insect. Insects usually have large eyes on their heads. They have feelers on their heads that help them to find out more about their surroundings. Insects use their feelers to pick up, smell, and taste. Children, usually insects have very large eyes on their heads. They have a pair of eyes on their heads with feelers, and those feelers are also known as antenna. Antenna or feelers are connected to the first one or two segments of the head. They vary widely in form but are always made of one or more jointed segments. They are typically sensory organs. The exact nature of what they sense and how they sense it is not the same in all groups. Every insect have different kind of the senses, like what they are sensing through their feelers. Functions may vary, includes sensing touch. They used to sense touch by the help of their feelers, air motion, heat, sound vibrations, and specially they used to smell and taste with the help of their feelers or antenna. All insects have 6 legs. Some insects have 2 pairs of wings. The legs and wings are fixed to the thorax. Children, all insects have 3 pairs of legs. Okay, in total they have 6 legs, and few insects are with wings and few are without wings. Okay, few insects have wings with them and few do not have wings, and the legs and the wings are fixed to the thorax. Here in the picture also you can see the part with the red arrow is the thorax, and the legs, all the 6 legs are attached to the thorax, and the wings also, they are attached to the thorax. Okay, insects have tiny holes called spiracles on their abdomen. They breathe through them. Children, here you can see that there are few dot-like structures which are called the spiracles, and this is the part of respiratory system of an insect. Air enters the respiratory system of insects through a series of external openings called spiracles. These external openings, which act as muscular valve in some insects, lead to the internal respiration system. It is responsible for delivering sufficient oxygen to the cells of the body and for removing carbon dioxide that is produced as a waste product of cellular respiration. The respiratory system of insects is separate from their circulatory system. So insects used to breathe with the help of spiracles. Few insects have wing with them and few do not. Here you can see the examples of insects with wings. The first picture is of a butterfly with beautifully colored wings. Next is of a dragonfly. Next is of a cockroach. Then a bee and a housefly. These are the examples of insects with wings. Here is the example of insects without wings. Few insects do not have wings with them, and the examples are ant, headleys, fire brats and fleas. These are the insects which do not have wings with them. Social insects. Some insects like ants and bees live in colonies. They are social and have division of labor. Children, social insects are the ants, bees, wasps and termites. They have organized societies or organized colonies. They have one or a few female responsible for all the egg laying, while other members of the colony gather food and do other tasks. Ants. Children, now we will discuss about the first social insect, that is ants. Ants live in a nest that has a network of tunnels. Each nest or colony has a queen ant whose job is to lay eggs. The worker ants collect and store food and feed the larvae that hatch out of eggs. Soldier ants protect the colony and the queen. Children, ants live in complex social colonies, with the queen being the leader and the workers foraging and protecting their home. The term ant colony describes not only the physical structure in which ants live, but also the social rules by which ants organize themselves and the work they do. Ant hills are familiar sights. You might have seen so many ant hills. However, these mounds are not actually ant colonies. Instead, they mark the entrance and exit to the colony. So the ant hill which you used to see are either the entries or the exit of the colony. These mounds are made up of the dirt, sand and other material the ants must remove as they dig the underground tunnel and chambers in which they nest. In fact, most ant colonies stretch deep underground, some even as deep as 25 feet. In the picture also you can see ant hill, and the division of labor is as that the queen ant will be laying eggs, the worker ant will be collecting the food and storing the food and feeding the larva, and the soldier ants will protect the colony and the queen. Bees. The other social insect is bees. Bees live in a group. Their nest is called a hive that is made of wax. Hives have many small cells that are shaped like a hexagon. There is a single queen bee that just lay eggs. The eggs are sealed inside the cells till they hatch into larvae. The worker bees collect nectar from flowers. In the hive, they change this nectar into honey. The worker bees look after the larvae. Worker bees keep the hive cool by fanning it with their wings. Children, as ants used to live in a colony, similarly bees also live in colony, and their group is the place where they live is called a hive. Okay, so they live in beehive, and that beehive is made up of wax, bee wax. A beehive is an enclosed structure in which honeybee species used to live and raise their young ones. The nest internal structure is densely packed with group of hexagon cells which are made up of bee wax called a honeycomb. These hexagon shaped structures are known as honeycombs. The bees use the cells to store food. And what is their food? Their food is honey and pollen. They used to store their food and to house the eggs to keep their young ones. There is a single queen bee who used to lay eggs, and the worker bees, they used to collect nectar from the flowers. They used to feed the larvae. They used to keep the hive cool by fanning it, and beehive serves several purposes: production of honey, pollination of nearby crops, housing supply of bee. Everything, all these things comes under the purposes of beehives. Beehives are very important for pollination of crops. With this, I end up today's topic. Thank you.